What is going on? Happy Saturday night or good Sunday morning. So I got a couple questions for you to ask yourself. Why is Jasmy so important not only to the cryptocurrency space, but to the future of technology? What is it that most of these people are missing when it comes to the value of Jasmy? Like, I don't get it. But we're going to uncover in a simple as possible way some details behind Jasmy coin, and we're also going to explore why Jasmy coin is relevant and important and will be a major player and they will play a major role in the future of crypto. And we're going to explore this. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into it. Welcome to Run My Crypto. Let's get into this. Why Jasmy coin will dominate cryptocurrency in the future Internet of Things, IoT, Jasmy chain, migration, whatever you want to call it. We got it all. Let's go. All right, first and foremost, I will not go down without a fight, especially letting people say that Jasmy is not the future of crypto. Well, I got news for you guys. Jasmy is the future of crypto. So let's start with the basics. Let's understand what Jasmy is aiming to achieve in crypto, okay? So Jasmy is a team of Sony executive developers that have poured into achieving a seat at the table in a vast growing market of cryptocurrency in Japan, okay? So Jasmy developers have fought to gain their seat in a highly regulated industry with very strict guidelines, especially in Japan. So once Jasmy developers made their first attempt to be recognized as a crypto company, Japan essentially just shut it down, right? Any affiliation with crypto, they weren't having it. So when Japan realized the value of crypto, they reopened the doors, but with very little tolerance for any type of corruption or fraud for cryptocurrency companies trying to enter into crypto. All right. So despite the challenges and difficulties, Jasmy was accepted to become a cryptocurrency company in Japan, and they represented Japan. So through all the regulations, they were a representation of Japan, signed off by Japan. All right. So much so that they were confident in a sense of security with their business, knowing that they were going after IoT. They essentially dubbed themselves as the Bitcoin of Japan. All right. So that's just a little insight on how big Jasmy really is. So you have to understand that level of information that they went through the process. Japan signed off as a cryptocurrency with strict regulation and consequences for companies trying to create fraud or rug pulls or whatever you want to call it. So that scratches off your rug pull, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's jump into some more info. So let's really look at the integrity of Jasmy. So Jasmy launched and aimed to power the future of digital payments in Japan. Jasmy was successful in launching 2 ICOs and raised over $60 million and essentially used 10% for development purposes, showing that they were going hard. They were going to go in on this project, and they did, but people are missing it. So let's look at the way that Jasmy set up their team to make this happen. So joining the Jasmy team, major Sony executives. These weren't guys that were just little mom and pop from Sony. These are major executive players that sat on the advisory board, right, to ensure the success of the project. So since Sony executives were basically sat at the advisory board of Jasmy, the project started focusing on data democracy, building Internet of Things platforms, and incorporating security features and digital payment systems. Why is that important to the future of crypto? Well, Jasmy is essentially building a platform that will benefit everyone across the globe, but they're starting in Japan. So why with Jasmy IoT, right, building this platform, they're going to enable business owners to create more sustainable and secure businesses How? By utilizing blockchain and crypto payment systems and other devices to have a greater impact in the growth of, and improving infrastructure for businesses. Okay, so Jasmy IoT will essentially create a higher and faster transactions volumes and speeds, moving to a huge revenue for businesses that are using Jasmy. And of course, they're going to start in Japan because that's where they are set to be successful, in Japan. So Jasmy has moved into understanding the needs for data democracy, and they started to put into place the secured PC computer system built into the PCs. And now with the Vita, they're starting to market these things, and they're very big in India. They're very big in Korea, in China, the whole Asian market. I mean, they're starting to put these computers out there because there's a silver lining with that. They're getting the computer systems out there. They got their software in there. Their program is into the PCs. Now they're setting up to initiate what they got coming, and that's what. See, we lose that focus that Jasmy is not a project that is like for today. Jasmy is a project for tomorrow. And if that makes sense, if it doesn't make sense, it means Jasmy's not building for today. They're building for tomorrow. That's where people are missing out on what Jasmy is all about. All right. So Jasmy building for the future. The Jasmy Advisory Board has basically realized the huge potential behind IoT and data security, and they are essentially committed to ensuring that what they are building is going to work. So I think what they realized is that what they're building is a global mass adoption. So many people are going to be using this once they understand how the blockchain and the integration of Jasmy's program works. Okay, so Jasmy chain is out of place, or is in place, put in place for the growth of IoT and data storage, right? So when the integration of blockchain and IoT is completed, many businesses will be using this technology and will flood the blockchain, and there's no way to manage the masses. And I think that this is where Jasmy is going with all this upgrade. So Jasmy is going to run into efficiency problems, and users will look for other alternatives. So if they try to jump into Jasmy and we stay on just single chain that we're at, what they built, it's not going to be able to handle the volume. It's not going to be able to handle the transactions, and the speeds are going to slow down, and it's going to make Jasmy start to have a lot of constraints for users. That's the challenge. Okay, so understanding that challenge, this is where Jasmy chain comes into play. So for preventative measures, Jasmy has created Jasmy chain. Jasmy chain is going to allow Jasmy to start to absorb higher volumes of transactions and provide more efficient security plan for transactions processing through the Jasmy chain. It's going to increase speeds and lower cost to users, making it a simple to go-to machine. Okay, so Jasmy chain is a design that brings in transactions and distributes the transactions to the blocks by sorting and controlling, converting transactions, and they do this by using an AI engine with an account abstraction supporting rollup layer 2. So Jasmy chain employs an OP stock based technology and integrates an account extraction like system at the chain level. All right, so what does that do? This allows contracts to define their transaction validation logic, providing developers with greater flexibility. So that's giving them more flexibility and interoperability to use this program. And that's where Jasmy chain is headed. This is what I was trying to explain to you. So all the legwork is done on the side of Jasmy putting their project into place. Now they're starting to accumulate users, but the thing is that IoT is still in its infancy stage. Web3 is still in the infancy stage. I mean, Web3 has essentially not even emerged yet, but Jasmy is already putting into place the PCs that are going to be able to just seamlessly integrate with Web3, security data, data locker, IoT, blockchain payments. It's there. they're one step ahead of everybody. This is what I am like. So why do people miss this? Because they don't understand what long-term success is. That's the key thing to this, is that Jasmy is setting up for long-term success. This is not a game that we go in, we do a little bit of work, try to make the best of what we got, and if it works, it doesn't. No, we're thinking decades ahead. Not only that, I believe that IoT is on the verge of coming out in the next year or two. And AI, all this integration, all this technology has already been brewing for some time behind the scenes. And Jasmy is already prepared by making these computers that have the integration to be able to simply plug and play with technology once it comes live. And Jasmy is going to be ahead of the game. And many people are missing out on this. All right. So keep that in mind when you're investing in Jasmy. So finally, I urge you all that are invested in Jasmy, and if you're not invested in Jasmy, I personally have invested in Jasmy. I hold today 2.3 million tokens, and I'm looking to hold 1 million coins for the future. And I'm talking about not selling these coins and setting them aside and acting like they're not there for possibly 8 to 10 years. Okay. Now, I believe Jasmy isn't a project that is here today and gone tomorrow. Okay. The demand for the project is still on the horizon. We have to see Web3 development. We have to see IoT development. When this is happening, trillions of dollars are going to flow into this narrative. Why? Because it's going to be so important for this narrative and the integration with Web3 and security services. And it's going to be beneficial for each one to be successful in the cryptocurrency space, right? So I have a strong belief that the developers of Jasmy will continue working towards growing to meet with this development, and this is in this coming bull run. I believe that big institutional investors already understand this. Like, they know what's to come. For this reason, I know that Jasmy is going to move massively in price. All right, the Sony executives have been in business for decades, and they know the ins and outs. They know the business models. They know the routine. They have ties to institution. They know the name of the business game. And Japan businessmen are something different than United States businessmen, from UK businessmen, from Australian businessmen. They do things a little bit differently, guys. And they are not the ones to be the loudest in the field. They are smart. They're technical. They move in silence. They do, they plan, they plot. They are strategic. And that's what a successful business person does, is plan strategically. All right. So I just think like this. Don't be quick to write this project off, but always understand it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're your own investor. You need to make sure that you're doing your due diligence to find out what is beneficial for the future of yourself and what is beneficial for the world. And how does this correlate with what cryptocurrency is doing? Cryptocurrency, I believe strongly that this is going to be here forever. This is a new wave of the future. This is technology growing at its finest. If you were born in 1980, 1970, 1980, you know how crazy technology went from one decade to the next. From the 1980s to the 1990s to 2000, we have seen a massive technology growth right before our eyes, and it changed so fast from one thing to the next. We went from 8-track cassettes to freaking nothing. It's basically on digital. It's digital. Music is digitally now. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Technology is super advanced, and right now Jasmy has set themselves up to inherit the future of Web3 technology, and this is why Jasmy is going to be a successful long term. Think about Sony. They came in, they dominated for many years. Others came in, but guess what? Sony's back, and they're back with Jasmy coin, Jasmy chain, Jasmy to the freaking moon. Let's go, guys. Leave your comments, throw your Jasmy to the moon in there. I hope you guys got something out of this video. Much love and respect to you. Run my crypto. Take care, y'all. I'll see you guys at the top of this bull run. Be blessed.